Well, this is where we find ourselves. A U.S. citizen, an elected official, arrested by masked agents for standing in a hallway. Let me explain to you what's going on here. New York City Comptroller Brad Lander, by the way, please don't email me and say, David, it's pronounced controller. Both pronunciations are acceptable. This is, of course, spelled Comptroller. You can say controller or you can say comptroller. What wouldn't be okay is comptroller. That apparently is not okay. Okay. The New York City Comptroller Brad Lander, currently running for mayor, was taken into custody yesterday by Donald Trump's ICE during an immigration court appearance in Manhattan. What was he doing? He was accompanying an immigrant being detained peacefully. Republicans are saying, here's another Democrat interfering with ICE. But of course, it was peaceful. There was no shouting. There was no pushing. It was standing in a hallway. But in Donald Trump's America, this is now considered obstructing. Asking questions is a form of assault. And the video, which we're going to look at here, shows federal agents in plain clothes and surgical masks because it's anonymous fascism. We've been talking about the ICE mask wearing, by the way, on the bonus show. You see the plainclothes, surgically masked agents grabbing Lander as he calmly asks, do you have the authority to arrest a U.S. citizen? Do you have a judicial warrant? Let's take a look. Let's take a listen.
Do you have a judicial warrant?
Keep going. Push back up. Sorry, back up. I don't make this difficult. Sorry. Back up. Just back up. Let's not cause any problems.
I will let go when you show me the judicial warrant. Where is it?
Where is the warrant? I have it in my hand here.
I would like to see the warrant. I would like to see the warrant, and then I will let go. I would like to see the warrant, and then I will let go. Take him in. Let's go.
So Lander is now being manhandled. I know there are people who are just listening, and I apologize that some of these elements are highly visual, but Lander is now being manhandled with his hands behind his back by a number of plainclothes agents with surgical masks. They're not all wearing surgical masks, to be totally accurate.
You have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens. Sir, you don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens. You don't have the, I'm not obstructing, I'm standing right here in the hallway. I asked to see the judicial warrant. By asking for a judicial warrant, you don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens asking for a judicial warrant.
Right, we go too. Sorry. No way. I'm safe. Where are you taking him? Hello?
Since you have no authority to arrest U.S. citizens, where are you taking me? And with what authority?
Why are you arresting me?
With what authority?
And where are you taking?
All right, and then off he goes. And I am terrified that this is only the beginning of this sort of thing. Now, ICE claims that he assaulted law enforcement and was impeding a federal officer. I think what they mean is that he managed to get in the way of a political performance. And to me, this is street theater with tactical vests and surgical masks. This isn't really the enforcement of any law. It's important to remember that Lander didn't break into a courtroom. He didn't interfere with a trial. He did what he's done before, which is he's showing up and standing by people that are seen as little more than disposable under Trump's government. But Trump's ICE doesn't really want people like Lander involved. They want enemies. They want the photo. They want the footage of the Democrat in handcuffs. And, they want to turn every courtroom into a stage for this authoritarian costume party. And now the Department of Homeland Security is bragging about it. They said ICE acted heroically here. I didn't see any heroism in that video. And ICE is saying, oh, no one's above the law. But that energy, when Trump skipped subpoenas and stole classified documents and ordered troops to crush protests without authority, where was the everyone must follow the law thing then? So what's really happening here is that Trump's ICE has gone from deporting undocumented immigrants to arresting elected officials for asking questions, standing still in a hallway and asking questions. And the mayoral election, of course, is already underway. Who knows? I mean, listen, you could say, well, Lander is trying to use this to help himself in the mayoral election, or ICE is doing this to hurt him, or who knows. Most of the Democratic rivals I saw condemned it. Andrew Cuomo said this was thuggery. Zohran Mamdani said ICE has no interest in the law, only in terrorizing. And that really all seems to be the truth. There was nothing here. No one's safety was safeguarded by arresting Brad Lander. This was not about the enforcement of immigration law. This is about fear, making officials afraid to intervene, making the public afraid to help, and turning what is really just solidarity at the end of the day into a crime, weaponizing the law against solidarity. And it worked. They got the shot. A U.S. official dragged away for daring to stand in the hallway. I expect, I guess that's the only real word I can use. I expect that we're going to see more of this. You know, every time we call out Donald Trump's authoritarianism, the right calls it media hysteria. But I want to remind you that Trump admits he's looking for ways to defy the Constitution and maybe even pursue another term. Now, if you don't know the bias behind your news, you might believe, oh, Trump's just teasing us. There's nothing here. Go to ground.news/Pacman and see how media bias influences more than your perception from Trump's policy and ability to understand and undermine constitutional norms. I've been with Ground News for years now because this is what they do. They expose the hidden agendas behind reporting sources and make it easy to compare coverage and understand critical issues. Even better, if I'm reading a story on another site, the Ground News browser extension will flag the source's political bias and give me other reports on the same story so I can verify the information. My viewers get 40% off the same unlimited Vantage plan that I use, so you get their top tier plan for just $5 a month. Go to ground.news/Pacman. The link is in the description, or scan the QR code.